Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Wednesday, October 19th slate of NBA action, our first full slate of NBA games. We have so many good games on that I really am excited to watch. And of course, my Chicago Bulls are playing. I'm super excited to watch that, of course, as well. But before we go ahead and dive into today's plays, I did just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. You guys showed a lot of love on yesterday's video, and you guys did get me like 30 extra subscribers yesterday. So I did want to go ahead and give a quick thanks out to you guys. That truly does mean so incredibly much to me. So thank you guys all for that. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. Once again, we will still be doing the giveaway on once we do end up hitting 7K, as long as we hit it by next Tuesday. So if we keep up the rate that we are currently at, we will be doing an NBA jersey giveaway, so you guys will not want to miss that. Make sure that you guys do hit that sub button. But let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap, shall we? But before we do, and boom, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are here with the sunnies on, with the shades on, after the first day of the NBA. If you guys are new, this means that I went ahead and got a sweep, and we ended up getting a sweep on the very first day of the NBA season. Wow, oh wow. So let's go ahead and talk about the plays that we did end up having. The odds of me getting a sweep in general are very slim, but to perfectly read opening night, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. So first, we did have LeBron over 40.5 PRAs versus the Warriors, minus 110 odds. He actually did end up hitting this quite easily. I think he ended with like 30 plus points per game, 30 plus points, and like well over 10 rebounds. So he could have got it in just those two stats alone. So that one ended up working out for us. Then we had Joel Embiid over 10.5 rebounds versus Boston. You guys could have played this at 11.5 for plus value, and it still would have worked out. Joel Embiid, I think, finished with 15 rebounds to finish out the night. Definitely was an absolute lock, no doubt. And then we had Derek White over 2.5 assists versus the 76ers. Derek, you made us sweat for this one. You definitely did. He only had two up until about the fourth quarter. He ends up getting his third one right before he gets pulled for most of the rest of the game. He does end up with 4 though, so it ends up working out for us. Then we had the Warriors minus 6. That game currently just got over at the time of recording this. They ended up winning pretty big. So I think it was like by 14 or something along those lines. So we ended up going 4-0. 4-0 on the start of the NBA season. That's a great way to start it off. Can we go ahead and have 2 profitable days in a row? Only time will tell. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these plays. First play of the day, a guy that I really like, a guy that I think has great potential to break out this year. We're going with Saddiq Bey, over 17.5 points here versus the Magic at minus 113 odds. Now, if you guys remember, his last matchup versus Orlando dropped a career-high 51 points versus Orlando. So he definitely can score versus this Orlando defense. And Orlando is 21st when it comes to opponent points allowed. Wow, excuse me. As of last year. So, and the defense really didn't change too much. Now, I know that Jonathan Isaac is listed as questionable, so we really don't know if he's going to end up actually playing or not. But regardless, I do think that this is a pretty good spot for Saddiq Bey. I feel like a lot of the defensive pressure is going to be on guys like Cade Cunningham. It is going to be on guys like Jaden Ivey. And I think that Saddiq Bey is going to be able to score at least 18 here for us. And there is no more Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is obviously on Portland now, and Marvin Bagley he recently got injured. So with both those players out, Saddiq Bey is going to have a pretty heavy workload here for this Detroit team, and I think he's going to get a lot of open looks. Also, Saddiq Bey, as of last year, averaged 14 shot attempts per game. So if you're only looking for 18 points from a guy like Saddiq Bey, and he's averaging 14 shots a game, I definitely think that he can hit this over. So for our first play of the day, that is what we're going to be riding with. Saddiq Bey over 17.5 points here versus the Magic at minus 113 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking Donovan Mitchell under 23.5 points here versus Toronto at minus 105 odds. I know Donovan Mitchell switching teams. He's going to a new team. This should be a hyped up game, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But this is a tough first matchup. And not only is it a tough first matchup versus the Toronto Raptors, who have always been known for defense, he's on a much better team now. So, first things first, Donovan Mitchell, even when he was on Utah, is 1-4 in his last 5 matchups here versus Toronto to this exact line. So he has had trouble scoring the ball versus Toronto. Also, Toronto, as I mentioned, always known for their great defense, but as of last year, 9th fewest points per game allowed over the course of the entire season. Top 10 defense all year long. And that's not really going to change whatsoever. They basically didn't change anybody on their roster. They still have Scotty Barnes. OG is still there. They still have Siakam. They still have Gary Trent. They still have Fred VanVleet. A very good defensive roster. Also, both these teams play at super slow paces. Toronto, 25th in pace. And you know what? Cleveland, they said, here, hold my beer. Let me one-up you on that one. They are 29th when it comes to pace. So both these teams almost dead last when it comes to pace. And I think that that's a really good spot to be able to take an under. And Gary Trent is most likely going to be matched up on Donovan Mitchell, who's a very good defender just in general. But guess what? If Donovan Mitchell ends up running the pick and roll at all, he's going to be getting switched on by guys like Scotty Barnes, by guys like OG Anunoby, even potentially guys like Siakam. Obviously, it's not super likely for that. But if he ends up running a pick and roll and getting a switch, he's getting a lockdown defender on him. And I just think this is a really tough spot for Donovan Mitchell to be able to have a great first game. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Donovan Mitchell to gel with this new offense as well. So that is going to be our second play of the day. Donovan Mitchell under 23.5 points here versus Toronto at minus 105 odds. Now for our third play of the day, we're taking the Grizzlies and the Knicks over 225.5 points at minus 103 odds. Now, Memphis, they were top 3 in pace last year, one of the fastest paces in the entire NBA, and the Knicks, they were 26th. Now, I think that could potentially change. Obviously, the way that the Knicks have been playing over the last couple of years hasn't really been working. And so they went ahead and added some more youth by adding in Brunson. And I definitely think that could change. They have a lot of young guards that are going to love to get up and down the floor. And if you take a look for the Grizzlies side of things, Jaren Jackson Jr. is injured. Jaren Jackson Jr. will be out for quite some time. And, well, he's their best defensive player for the Grizzlies. So you're losing your best defensive player, you're adding in a young player to fill into that rotation. They're really going to be getting up and down the floor. And in the last 5 matchups between these two teams, even with Jaren Jackson Jr., the over has hit in 4 of them. So I definitely think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game, a game that is going to be very exciting to watch. So that is going to be our third play of the day. Grizzlies and the Knicks over 225.5 points at minus 103 odds. Now for our fourth and final play of the day. We're taking the Bulls, baby. We're taking the Bulls. +7 here versus the Heat at minus 113 odds. PSA, do not take this bet. Absolutely don't take this bet. It's just because I'm a homer. It's just because I'm a Bulls fan. Do not take this bet. Okay, anyway, the Bulls, as of last year, they started off the year absolutely fantastic. They had one of the best records in the NBA. They were one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference for a very long time, up until about, I think it was like right around Christmas, and then everything kind of, went down the drain. But the Bulls were 44, 42, and 1 against the spread last year. Hey, profit is profit at the end of the day. It's not much, but profit is profit. They do cover every once in a while. Levine is also listed as questionable, and this line is still +7. Is it a little bit fishy? Absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna go ahead and take this. Like I said, don't bet this. It's just because I'm a degenerate. I'm a homer. Do not pick this whatsoever. But anyway, yes, we are going to be riding at that for our fourth play of the day. Bulls +7 versus Heat at minus 113 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're still on the road to 7,000. Once that 7,000 does end up hitting, as long as it's before next Tuesday, we will be doing that jersey giveaway. So make sure that if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that is going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Let's have another great day. Peace.